Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. As you guys can see up on the screen, today I want to talk a little bit about Sofi Technologies Incorporated. This is ticker symbol SOFI or Sofi, the exact same name as the company. They make it nice and easy for you. And the reason we're talking about this one today is obviously, as you can see up on the screen, kind of a rough day for Sofi in the markets today. They were down 4.29% on the day. Started out this morning in the green. Things were looking good. We were hoping things were going to go good, but obviously around 10 o'clock my time, they did kind of dip into the red for the day, and they stayed down there and just kind of kept dropping and dropping and dropping. So that's obviously not great. But the other kind of big thing that happened for Sofi stock today was they dipped below $10. They dipped below their IPO price, and now this thing is at 52-week lows. This stock is at all-time lows, and obviously in the short term that's bad. In the long term, maybe it'll be bad, maybe it'll be good, but that's what we'll be talking about in this video today, just going over all the news, all the updates for Sofi up until this point. So definitely do drop a like if you guys enjoy this video. I would appreciate that a ton, and subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Obviously, as always, there's going to be no financial advice in this video. I'm not telling you guys to buy, sell, do anything like that. Just giving my thoughts and opinions on some of the news. With that being said, let's get right into this one. So, again, if we zoom out, if we go to the max, December of 2020, Sofi goes live at around $10, $10.41, whatever it started trading at that day. And again, it has stayed up above that. We hit a low of like 14 in May. We dipped down to 14 again in August. We dipped down to 14 again in December. This is the first time we've broken that $14 barrier since, crossing it in January 2021, December 2020. And obviously, when you break a big support line, that's never usually a great thing. And then when you look at what the markets as a whole are doing right now, where things just continue to drop and drop and drop, today the Dow Jones was down 1.38%, S&P was almost down 2%, NASDAQ was down 2.5%, over 2.5%. That is rough. That is a terrible day for an index. And then the Russell was down 1.8% as well. These things just continue to drop lower and lower and lower. I'm pretty sure the S&P is more than 10% off all-time highs now. Who knows when the bottom is going to be. It seemed like, hey, January is pretty bad, but hopefully February won't be as bad. And so far, February is proven to be just as bad. So this is, Sofi hitting not only, like I said, a 52-week low, but really an all-time low since it's been a public company. Now, again, obviously, if you were looking for short-term gains, if you're looking for short-term hype, whatever, I don't think that made a ton of sense for Sofi, because they really, to me, seem like a longer-term play with a ton of growth and a ton of, positive momentum and catalysts heading 2, 3, 5, 10 years into the future. But obviously, if you were looking for short-term money, this has not been the play. I mean, this thing is down, 40% year-to-date, 37.37% year-to-date, which is rough, but if you do believe in Sofi, if you love this company, if you love this stock, if you believe in the growth, if you believe in everything they are doing, you are now able to get shares of Sofi cheaper than you have ever been able to before. So again, potentially, yes, while it may be very, very tough pill to swallow right now, this could be a good thing in the long run for a lot of people, if you zoom out at this thing, look at what has changed between December of 2020 and February of 2022. All the growth. The bank charter came in. They just obviously bought out Technesis, yesterday. They have so many different things. Margin investing has become a thing. They obviously have the naming rights deal to SoFi Stadium. They have just all this stuff has happened in the past couple of years. Some of that before the IPO, some of it after. But, a lot has changed. And not only are you able to get Sofi at the same price as back then, you're able to get it cheaper now, which I think is pretty interesting. Again, there are obviously people who don't like Sofi, say it's overvalued, say it's a bad company, going nowhere, going to get eaten up by the competition, or just lost in the weeds or whatever. But for the people who do like Sofi, it's kind of an interesting time. Yes, it does suck, especially if your cost basis is above $10, like pretty much everyone's is, or above $15 or above $20, you're kind of bleeding right now. But, a couple years from now, your future self might thank you. Some of the news we have to go over today is Sofi reiterated as overweight by Morgan Stanley, and they have a price target of $20. Now, Obviously, we're at 982 right now. A lot of people would love if this thing bounced all the way back to $20. So, they're saying it's overweight, but they're still giving a pretty favorable price target, really. And then Goldman Sachs has lowered their price target from $16 to $14. Now, could some of that have to do with the acquisition of Technesis and, them issuing more shares and dilution and all this stuff? Yeah, sure. But also, it is quite convenient and quite ironic how when stocks are going up, everyone's raising their price targets, and now the stocks are going down, everyone lowers their price targets. Are they really evaluating things? Are they really going off the news, or is it just a lot of momentum-driven stuff? That's definitely something to think about. Don't read into these price targets too much, I don't think, and that's not something I do personally, but the market usually does react to stuff like this as well. A lot of people just kind of go off of, what people like Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs and these places say, so kind of keep that in mind. We also have SoFi iOS App Store rankings over the last year. Just kind of some numbers. You can see there's definitely an upward trajectory here. SoFi is definitely getting more popular. This is finance iPhone and iPad apps in the United States of all types. I mean, over 2021 and into 2022, SoFi has just kind of continued to grow. Now, are we at a peak right now? Are we at an all-time high? No, absolutely not. It seems like this peaked like August of 2021, maybe November, December of 2021. But hey, still, again, if you look at where we were back in April 2021, March 2021, I think there's for sure, an upward slanting line. This thing is increasing. SoFi's gaining market share. SoFi's gaining kind of popularity and stuff. I think things are trending in the right direction. And again, even though the stock price might not reflect this, this thing is becoming more and more popular. It's getting more and more downloaded, not only overall, but also relative to a lot of the competition as well, which I think is exciting. Also, there is still some people out there saying that, hey, SoFi stock might be the best financial stock for 2022. This is Utradia or Utrade or whatever, however you say this, but, just kind of a company that put out an analysis and research about SoFi. I'm not going to go into it too much, but there are still people out there that really believe in the stock and think it's a great investment, not only in the short term, but in the long term as well. Again, I really kind of buy into the notions of buying low and selling high. And, if I was someone who really, really loves SoFi stock, I think this would be an awesome, exciting time. If as long as you have money on the sideline, as long as you have an income coming in every couple of weeks or every month or every week or whatever, hey, maybe it'd be an interesting opportunity to pick up some shares for really, really cheap. I definitely, prefer to pick up shares for below $10 than over $20, I'll tell you that. There were some conflicting kind of reports and questions about dilution or not. Obviously, when SoFi announced they were buying Technesis yesterday, people didn't necessarily know what that meant. They're like, hey, are we getting diluted? Are there more shares outstanding now? Are my shares worth less? What's going on? And I covered this in my video yesterday, unfortunately, and as is what all the comments are saying as well, unfortunately, yes, you are being diluted. Dilution, we the shareholders are paying for this. Now, some people say there's a difference between good and bad dilution. I agree with this to an extent. People are saying there's bad dilution of like, hey, we're selling shares because we need money to pay off our debt or pay our bills or pay our interest or pay, salaries or whatever. That's not great, at least some people are saying. And then there's good dilution of like, we are diluting because we are making an acquisition. We are going to do something with that money that we think will make our company stronger, make us more money, save us more money, something like this in the future. And obviously, those people would say that is what is happening with Technesis. Now, I know there's people on the other side that are like, okay, well, I still would not rather have my shares worth 10% less because I don't know if Technesis is going to make up for that 10% or not. Even if it makes SoFi stronger overall, it still needs to make up for the dilution it caused. And I think that's a very, very fair debate. But yes, the shares outstanding are increasing with this deal. And then also, final piece, there was this new earnings beat. Anyone else think that new beating on earnings, giving good guidance, and moving up over 8% bodes well for us, because I do. And a lot of people are really, really excited. SoFi earnings are coming up, March 1st, like a week from now. And people were excited for new earnings. New earnings went pretty well. They had a lot of good stuff to say. They had a lot of exciting stuff. And pre-market, they were up pretty big, like the person said, 7-8%, whatever. But obviously, you can see how that turned out. New is down 15% today. This is just that kind of market. You can put out good news, bad news, whatever. Things are tanking. Things are going down. It's really, really rough. So this has me a little bit worried and a little bit scared about SoFi earnings, because I do think SoFi earnings in March are going to be pretty good. Now, there may be some shock, there may be some prizes, there may be some stuff that people don't necessarily want to hear, but overall, I think they'll be largely positive. I think they, will hopefully beat. They'll hopefully give good guidance for 2022 and beyond. But hey, New had a very good report as well. Now, New and Sofi are not a great one-to-one comparison by any means, but this is another company in the space giving their earnings report and even giving a good earnings report and still dropping 15%. So that is kind of something to keep in mind. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about Sofi. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.